Heck, you it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, how do you feel about being live right now?
Hmm?
How do you feel about being online right now? Recorded.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I mean,
What's
you
the
are.
subject?
Well, the subject is well, there's two or three things I want to know. The subject
Oh,
is that
okay.
you're a truck. The subject is you're a trucker.
Mhm.
You out there on the road a lot. There's some things I want to know from you. So
Okay.
don't tell me. I don't want to know about your personal business. I want to know about your perspective as a guy that travels around the country.
Mhm.
So I know you live in Texas. Last time I talked to you, where were you at?
Uh,
You were in the
New
Northwest.
Mexico.
No,
I was
you were in the
coming back from
Northwest.
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you were in fucking Oregon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you were coming
Yep.
back,
Yep.
headed south. That was a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So how many miles have you traveled since then?
About
You
2,300.
think? So now I feel like a bitch for like drafting about traveling 800 in a week, or 1,000, 1,200. Why
Mhm.
do I feel like a bitch for doing that?
I don't know. I wish I could do that.
So now is riding in one of those big rigs different than driving in my Toyota 4-wheel drive or no?
Oh yeah. I got air ride suspension, air ride seat, uh, auto shift.
But you can't just get up and walk around.
No.
But it's pretty easy when you're sitting there. I'm not going to say easy. It's probably more comfortable than what it was in 1977 driving a truck. I'm
Oh
guessing.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So air ride is the whole cab is under air ride. So like,
Yeah. The cab, the suspension, the seat. Yeah.
so when I'm driving down the road, I'm getting beat up with my Toyota. Boom, boom. And all these roads, they're just, it's ridged up, and I'm having to worry about what lane I'm in because of the water. Is in certain lanes I got to stay over to the left or to the right. I
Mhm.
stay to the right because I don't want to be my head in too close to anybody. You know.
Right.
So where do you stay with that big truck?
I pretty much stay in the right lane.
Over as far as you can go, or in the rut?
Yep. Well, in the far right lane, and then I mean, if I come up on somebody, I make my pass
Wait.
and come back around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But now a
because
lot of people don't do. Go ahead.
one of the worst things that irritates me is the right lane's where you're supposed to be except the pass, unless you're moving at a faster rate of speed than everybody else, and other traffic gets out there in that left lane or the far left lane, they'll run right beside a big truck. All right, if something happens ahead up there, I got two choices.
Yeah.
I either got to hit the ditch or hit you,
Hit you. Hit you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
or
gonna
hit
tell
the
you
ones
this.
in front of me.
I don't feel comfortable riding beside a big truck myself. I don't care. I don't want to ride beside anybody. Period.
Yeah,
Actually. So I
right.
don't
Because
understand
that's
these people that
80,000 pounds that needs to find a place to go if
do.
something
Ooh.
happens up ahead,
Yeah.
and they can't
So
stop
now,
on a dime.
most of your time, are you on a 4-lane road or a 2-lane road or what?
That varies.
But you're on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
So I
to
guess
me, even if it's a 4-lane road, I treat it like a 2-lane.
yeah. I got you. You still passing somebody. Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
don't even like passing anybody on a 2-lane road, period, with a small truck. Because
Right.
I'm like, if they would just speed up and go 57, I'd be good with them, you know. But
Yep.
I'm an old man, you know. We're
Yep.
both old men compared to a lot of people, you know. So So you've been around. You've seen some shit. I mean, I know you have. I know you've been
A
out
little
there
bit.
for a long time. How long you been on the road now?
19 years.
19 years. That's almost
Mhm.
double. So that's almost 2 decades right there. Yeah,
It's almost 2
decades.
decades. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a long time. That's almost half your life. A little bit less than half, about a decade.
Mhm.
So out there, you see some shit. There's always advice that we have for four wheelers. We've already talked about some. What's some other stuff you can tell four wheelers?
Say it again.
We talked about some things about four wheelers. Stay the fuck out of the way if you're gonna pass. Do your shit. But
Yeah.
80,000 pounds. They're 4,500 pounds maybe. What else? What
Yeah.
other kind of advice you got for four wheelers?
Well, all right. Let's see. I can come up with a lot of stuff. You're merging onto the interstate. Okay? The people on the interstate have the right of way. That's big trucks or vehicles, either one. You're coming off onto the interstate. You need to adjust your speed to be able to merge into traffic, not the traffic on the interstate having to adjust their speed for you to merge into traffic. And then act like I done something wrong and flip me off when you can't merge into traffic.
I'm gonna tell you this personally.
That's a big deal.
Personally, whenever I come up to it, when I'm merging into traffic, I got my foot on the accelerator, and I may have to hit it up to 90 for a second or two, but I'm gonna get out there and scoot back over to the right and stay the fuck out of the way. That's my. See, a lot of people don't understand that it doesn't make a fuck what game you're playing. If you're playing with traffic, specifically if you're playing with 18 wheelers, 80,000 pounds, you need to play one game. It's kind of like shut the fuck up game, but it's called stay the fuck out of the way game. That's what I would say. Yeah. But a lot of people think they can win, but they ain't gonna win with 3,200 pounds or 4,500 pounds in an 80,000 pound truck. It ain't gonna be good. Even though they may be right, quote unquote right, they ain't gonna win. That's what people forget.
And 9 times out of 10, even if it is the four wheeler's fault, they can say it's the truck driver's fault because he's a professional.
Well, you got a specialized license, you got a medical test, and drug test. So, like, your ass is to blame. It doesn't make a shit. But now people these days, we talk about this all the time, don't have respect like they should. Like, if I see an 18-wheeler and I know that someone can pass me, I'll blink my lights at them and say, get on over.
Yeah.
We're on 2 lane. Blink, get your ass over. Or, or slow down and let them slow down and blink your lights. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
He gonna catch back up. He gonna get out of the way. He ain't gonna be hanging around with your ass.
Right.
Now, do you have cruise control in your truck or no?
Oh yeah.
So like you set that bitch on 65, you gonna be gone. You ain't gonna hang around.
Right. My truck
now,
runs 68 top speed.
Yeah,
I'm governed at 68, and I have cruise. I also have adaptive cruise, which entail means I have a sensor in my bumper that I'll be running along over the cruise zone, and it senses out there 100 yards another vehicle running in front of me. It's going to adapt my speed to stay a safe distance behind you.
Yeah.
And if I start moving up on you too fast, it'll actually apply 33% of the brake.
They slow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't like that. I drive my truck.
Well, I mean, now, my truck do all kinds of...
Electronics tend to malfunction.
Yeah.
So therefore, a lot of these new guys coming in getting their CDL, if you get to watching them riding down the road, you'll see them running along there playing on their phone with their cruise on.
Yeah.
One foot stuck up on the dash, not even really paying attention to the road. They're not driving their truck. Okay?
No.
They get complacent with that electronic working for them.
It's a tool. It's not going to drive it for you. It's got to use it as a tool.
So therefore, when they get complacent with that, what's going to happen eventually? It's going to malfunction. And when it does, he's going to take out a carload, a family, somebody like that.
It ain't going to be cool. It's going to be a bad day for everybody.
Right.
But now, trucks these days, like you've already talked about, they're a lot fancier than what they used to be in 1977, whenever the Bandit carried that Coors across there. But it's still an 80,000-pound missile driving down the road. You've got to, people can't be dumb. They got to stay out. They should understand that, they may be right. That big truck driver may, let's just get that out of the way, may have made a mistake, although I doubt it because he's a professional driver. But still, you've got to take care of yourself and the people in the car with you. So if you see a big truck, let them go on by or go on by them. Don't be hanging around there forever. Get the fuck out of the way, Go on. Don't be riding beside them, up under them, all that kind of bullshit. Pulling out in front of them. They can't stop like we can in a little car,
Well, I try to drive my truck like everybody that's driving around me is a member of my family.
Damn, that's deep, bro.
I pretend that they're the naive ones of the family that don't know no different. I pretend that they don't know what they're doing other than driving down the road. They don't know to look out for me. So I'm having to look out for them. Because
again,
I don't know what I would do if I actually took somebody out, or a fat carload, of people, family, kids. I'd never be able to drive again.
Well,
and if it's their fault, that's done ruined my life because of their stupidity.
19-year driver talking. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I also have buddies that drove trains, and they couldn't even stop that bitch if they wanted to, So a good friend of mine who I graduated high school with, and we used to ride down the road with the doors open on the little small S10 and have the music wide open, listen to Poison, Def Leppard. And later on, he drove a train. He was a conductor, an engineer, and people stopped on the track, and he PTSD'd his way out of it because it killed him. He saw those faces, those bright ass train lights, of what happened. He saw them, and like if you were to say that shit with your truck, it'd be the same damn way because. But people forget though. They got going, well, this is my highway, and I pay taxes on my side, and this is wherever I'm at is where I'm paying taxes. And I'm like, you're right, but you're also dead. So anyway, but there's bigger things going on there the road now. We just diverted some kind of a huge. We talk about trains. There was a big. Issue. I think if that strike would have went through, there'd been a need for 110,000 new truck drivers. And there's already a bunch of new truck drivers on the road. In fact, I think a large percentage are probably new on the road. I mean, what do you, as a professional 19-year truck driver, out there dealing on the road today with those new truck drivers you're talking about? I mean, is it different now than it was 10 years ago, or is it the same? Has it always been? Tell me about it.
It's a lot different because, when you, even in your vehicle, when you're on the shoulder of the road, stop with your flashes on, your hazards. All right, when you get ready to pull back out onto the interstate or the highway, what do?
I stay on the shoulder until I'm about 75, 80, and then I get back out there. That's what I do. But I don't know what people others do.
Right. Do you know what they're teaching these young guys coming out of driving school these days to do? put your blinker on, take off, let it shift a couple of times, and come on out.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what these big conglomerate companies are teaching them in their high dollar driving schools.
Hell of
I
a deal.
sat in truck stops and I've watched guys that's been driving, some of them driving a year, 2 years, that got their license from CR England or Swift or something like that. I sat and watch them try for 30, 45 minutes sometimes at a time, try to back into a spot. It's because they don't teach them the proper way to set themselves up to back into a spot anymore. They don't teach them nothing but what I call a 90-degree jackknife backing. It's pull up along in front of the trucks, get the back end of their truck next to the spot they're wanting to get into, and then jackknife it into the spot. Well, sometimes you can't do that because your nose is going to swing too far ahead of you, and you can't get in it for the vehicles sitting across the lane, where it's easier to back a truck around a curve or even pull around a curve as it is to turn around a corner. So if you'll set yourself up at a 45-degree angle with the butt of your trailer pointed toward the spot, you can back into it a lot easier and miss everything. I've actually sat and talked drivers into spots on the CB because they never knew what a 45-degree setup alley dot was.
So you're sitting there at like Costco or Target or wherever, and you're talking a guy through turn by turn, backing his way into a slot.
Mhm.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But now, whenever you started out, did you ever drive a tractor and back up a trailer, or did you not have that experience and you went? How did you get to learn to drive a? I mean, and compare two things for me: a flatbed versus a cargo trailer. Is there any difference or no?
Only difference in a flatbed and a dry van is the fact you can see your cargo. And one's about 48 foot and the other one's 53 foot.
The cargo is 53, right? The big van,
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So a flatbed.
Which I don't drive either one of those anymore. So.
What are you driving now?
I drive a tanker.
You still driving a tanker?
Yeah.
How long is the tanker?
48 foot.
48 foot. Now, are you carrying hazardous materials, or are you just carrying something else? What are you carrying now?
No, I just carry lube oil, like motor oil.
That's a perfect job, then. I mean, you have to have a special license for that, don't you? Like at least a tanker.
I have to have a tanker endorsement. Yeah.
And now,
the hardest thing about a tanker is running what we call a smooth bore free flow.
Yeah.
It don't have no baffles in it, and
no baffles.
It sloshes. It'll push you. It'll surge.
Ooh.
You know. Yeah.
That's
why
No,
I don't have one I'm pulling right now. I don't have baffles in it. It's smooth bore. That's another thing. They see tankers, and people will come up and they'll just shoot over in front of you, and cut you off going down the road.
Ooh.
Well, or they'll hit their brakes real hard in front of you. Well, when I hit my brakes, that product hits the front of that trailer, it'll push me.
Yeah.
So I can lock my brakes up and it'll still skid me 25, 30 yards. People don't realize, even though my brakes is locked up, I can't stop.
Man, you get all that weight pushing on the front of that tank.
Mhm.
There's stopping that thing right there. You can't stop on a dime like my little Toyota 4-wheel drive pickup can, for sure.
Nope.
You said 25, 30 yards. That's a long ways.
That's a long ways. And in that 25, 35 yards, it can jackknife,
Yeah.
The ass end can outrun my nose. Look what happened
Yeah.
in Bastrop a couple of years ago to me, and I was empty when the kingpin dropped out over on the right side, took me off the road and flipped me on my side,
Yeah.
and that was an empty trailer.
Yeah, and right now, out there on the road, you have a lot of empty trailers. You have a lot of full trailers. You have more. You probably have more trucks on the road right now than you ever have in the existence of human beings. Probably.
Yeah.
If not, then close.
Yep.
Because stuff's moving. It's got to move.
Yep.
And even I would think that with that empty, I mean, you have less control over that because you, at least with if you have liquid in it, you could kind of get it going straight. But with nothing, that thing can go anywhere. In my mind.
Yep.
Well, so another thing, of course, my one of my major concerns is like true crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw a case at you. I know you hadn't had time to study that. But, looking back, have you ever met anybody that was a serial killer?
A what?
A serial killer, somebody that you knew has killed multiple people.
No, can't say if I have. I don't believe
That's
I
good.
have anyway. I hope.
Well,
I hope I didn't and didn't recognize it.
Well, you never know. Have you ever known anybody that's killed another person or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so what does that mean? If you know somebody, if you've ever had a conversation with some dude or some woman that's killed somebody,
Yeah. Yeah,
what
I was actually locked up with a man that killed a woman and her son.
But now you were locked up for a drug charge.
Mhm.
So, but you spent jail time in a cell. How big of a cell?
No, it's a pretty good size one. I mean, it was a full pod there in Drew County.
Okay. So, did you get to know this person that did that, or did you talk with them, or no?
Oh yeah, he was in the same cell with me.
I mean, did you take away anything from it? Did you learn to stay away from people like that? I mean, out there on the road like you're doing, or what did you pick up from? We're trying to help people, okay?
Well, one thing I learned from that was to try to recognize that people aren't what they seem, because this was actually an 18-year-old boy that was seeing an older woman, and she broke up with him, and he turned around and killed her and her son.
How old was your son?
13, 14 years old.
So he could have somebody just 5 years younger than him and a woman that was 30s, something like that.
I think she was around probably 35, 36, yeah.
Now, how did he kill him? With a knife or a gun or what?
22, long rifle.
Ooh. Ooh. So he was pretty close then, though.
Uh-huh.
Did he ever tell you about it? How much did he share with you?
He said he didn't remember much of it until the end. He was one of them. He belonged. I can't even remember names or anything really. I know he was. His people was right there.
This is more than 19 years ago. You've been driving
oh
that
yeah.
long. So
yeah, this was
20-something years ago.
99. Yeah, around 99.
So, but now you spent time with him. He shared enough with you, and but that puts you a lot younger too. You're in your late 20s back then. He was 10 years younger than you, I guess.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
I was right at 8, 10 years older than him.
yeah. Was there anything about him that stood out? I mean, what made him snap? Did he said he didn't know it to the end. What does that mean? Like,
He said he blacked out.
was he using drugs before or alcohol before or no?
Not. He said he didn't use no drugs. He said it was
But
just he was. It made him mad when she broke up with him.
there's a big age difference there for sure, and him being young.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, have you kept up with him or no?
No, I tried to forget all about that stuff.
I'm sure you do.
Yep.
Well,
When I got away from it, and got out and everything, I left it behind.
You know, the whole true crime thing these days is huge. People just are fascinated because there's so much that goes on. There's a lot of killing that goes on. People kill people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like right there, jealousy, anger, money, sex. I mean, it's all tied up in like 3 or 4 or 5 different variables.
Right.
And and drugs, which is money,
Yeah.
and sex, and power. You know, there's all kinds of things that go along with that, which it all kinds of ties together. But it's just so weird that the human experience involves all that. Because most of us don't really experience that, but it's so when you hear about it, you go, golly, that person actually did that. An 18-year-old guy.
And to look at him, you wouldn't think he was capable of it.
So explain that. I mean, what he was, little fella, just nice. I mean, what made you think that?
He just one of the nice. Matter of fact, he come from a very spiritual, religious family. That they were big in the church. His sister had she was like my son. She had PKU. She was a single Keystone Lord.
What's that mean?
And that means they don't have the enzymes in their body it takes to break down protein.
Okay.
So they have to have protein substitutes because they can't. Protein will actually, over a period of time, high doses of protein like we get would end up driving them retarded. And
so you're talking about
death.
like somebody eats too much meat, then it can impact them.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. So if you're telling me that, then there's all kinds of things that can, that we talked about already. Drugs, alcohol, jealousy, anger, physical things such as that, Like you mentioned the word retarded. Of course, I understand what you mean. It means that somebody who ain't right. They just don't operate the level you and I as normal human beings operate at.
Well, who can say what's normal? Yeah.
That's
I don't know if I can call myself normal.
Well, I sure don't call myself normal, because, the reality of it is that I don't even know what normal is, because I've met folks, you and I both, we've met all kinds of people around the world, man. Come on. You out there on the road every day, you meet some crazy, smart, I've met guys in rehab, I've been there, that were drawing pictures of cocaine, the chemical representation of it, the symbol for it. I was like, what are you drawing right there, bro? And he's like, that's cocaine. I'm like, oh. Like, why are you drawing that? I was like, I'm very fascinated by how the chemical ever interacts with the brain. I've got habits here. This is some really good stuff. You see how that right there? That fits perfectly in my brain. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on, brother. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if some people didn't miss their calling, right?
Well, you know, they
They're a
you
lot
know,
more intelligent in what they act and put out.
oh, yeah, good God, yeah. And some of them, even though they've never had first off, they've never had people to help foster their intelligence. They didn't ever have anybody lift them up, okay, and say, damn, dude, you're smart, let's guide you this direction.
Yep.
Okay, so you have a lot of that, and you have a lot of it is like, to me, you know, a long time ago, they probably would have knocked him in the fucking head. You know, some people, you know, if you're 5 years old and you do some crazy ass shit to your sister or your mom or some kind of shit, you know, daddy would knock you in the fucking head, throw you in the pond. Now you can't do that, you know.
Yeah,
So
you know, I say that's a lot of today's problems too, with kids and young people. Everybody wants to step in and tell people how to raise their children. And I do understand that there's such a thing as abuse. But there's also a point there that every child needs that ass tore up every now and then to teach them right from wrong.
They need
I don't
some kind of negativity for sure. That's the damn shit.
Exactly. And you know, these days, if you spank your child, they say that's abuse.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
I don't
a motherfucker needs a ass whooping. If you holler at somebody or you running on the highway or something, you need at least one swat across your ass. I don't care what anybody tells you. You can go tell your mom and your grandpa and the psychiatrist, but sometimes a good swip. I'm not talking about getting somebody down to beat him in the head, but a swift, you know, hand across that ass to wake some bitch up. You know.
Yep.
You know.
Like I said, the governments, the schools, DHS, they step in and they get in parents' ways these days. They run the shit. They don't let the parents raise their kids. And I'm not blaming it all on the parents today because we can go back. Now, you think about our grandparents, your grandparents.
Yeah.
Your grandpa.
Whip my ass.
If he seen you get into something, he would tore your ass up.
Hey, I went up there singing in his fan in the window one time, and he told me to quit one time. He says, the second time I ain't going to tell you again. Third time I got my ass whipped with a razor strap. And I didn't sing in that damn fan no more. You hear me?
But, see, our grandparents, to me, were the last of the true parents. Now, our parents were, well, I don't know so much about yours, but mine, you knew my mom and dad. Now, yeah, I get my ass tore up if I did something wrong, but they were the baby boomers. We're Gen X. Okay? Now, our generation is the ones that came along, and not so much me and you that was raised old school, but a lot of the other ones that's in our generation is what started this crap that's going on today because they're the ones that started laying down and letting everybody, the government, the schools, tell them what they can and can't do within their home and their children. And look where it's led us.
Well, I mean, it's got to a point now to where, you know, you got to be smart and very sophisticated to be able to get kids to do anything. You do. You have to be.
Yeah.
Because now, you can get picked real quick. You can get your ass to do shit. You can see. My goal as a human being, I never want to talk to law enforcement officials. Never. I don't want to talk to law unless I'm calling them to say thank you for policing my neighborhood or some kind of shit. But I don't want to be. I don't want them in my personal business.
Right.
But now it seems to me like a lot of the younger people are, you know, they want to have the law enforcement involved in all kinds of things. But again, though, I think it comes back to how you raise your children. from the very
Mhm.
beginning.
Mhm.
But now here's the problem: is that baby boomers have raised a lot of kids. They're still they catch hell. Baby boomers do. I understand that.
Mhm.
But I know some of them that are raising kids now that are their great grandkids, and I know Generation Xers like us that are raising grandkids.
Mhm.
And they're here's my opinion: is that the opioid situation and
Mhm.
jail, and which is a very complicated thing too, because some people deserve to be in jail and some don't. So if you got an addiction problem, I don't even know if you should be in jail. I think you maybe should be somewhere, but
Mhm.
I don't think in jail. So, but there's a lot of absent parental guidance going on. You know, there's people that, I mean, it's complicated. It's not, you know, it's not just, there's not just, you know, I can't just say, well, by God, this is it. Because there's so many things. Here's my deal, is that there's so much more population now. There's 1 billion more people on Earth than whenever you and I were born.
Mhm.
Maybe even, actually 4 billion more. I think it was 4 billion whenever you and I were born, and now we have 8 billion. That's a lot of fucking people running around, bro, all the time. And, you know, that's a big deal when you have more people like that.
Yep. And everybody's so sensitive.
Well, I've got my feelings now. I've got my Band-Aid. I've got to wear 7 days. You can't tell me I can't wear my Band-Aid, Alan. Come on. Like, bitch, you should have taken that fucking Band-Aid off 2 weeks ago. You still wearing that shit on some old cut shit. Come on.
Mhm.
Anyway, well, I know I got to go, and so do you. But I'm okay with putting this out there for everybody to at least know about how to drive. If they want to listen to the rest of our bullshit, they can listen to it, can't they?
Yeah.
All right.
They can.
Love
Just
you, bro.
be careful around big trucks.
Yes, sir. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, well, bye.